our series on how to write a business plan, basically. And we're going to be starting officially in about 2 or 3 minutes. So just to give you some background into some of the things we've been doing over the last few weeks, that is us shopping internet services, http shoppi.ng, Shoppi.ng is the URL. We've been doing quite a lot in the area of empowering SMEs, okay? And one of the questions that kept coming up was, how do I develop a business plan? If you had attended all the events that we've done over the course of a number of months, a number of weeks, you would actually have got all the knowledge you needed to get to develop a business plan. But we've also realized that there were many SMEs who were not able to attend those events, and that's why we've decided to go online. And hopefully we will be able to reach many more SMEs, and hopefully those of you who were not able to attend all our events will actually be able to get more out of these hangouts. Today's topic is, and this series basically, is about how to write a business plan. And that is going to cover, 4 to 6 sessions. Writing a business plan is so important. It's so fundamental. Today I'm going to talk about why it's important, as well as give you a high-level overview of the process, and take a few questions, hopefully. So we'll make it interactive. So please send in your questions and your comments via our various media. Depends on how you're watching this. You can send it as a comment on YouTube. You can send it via Facebook. You could even send it via email. Love shopping at Shoppi.ng. So I'm just giving the other participants 1 or 2 minutes to join us, and then we'll get started. So I'll just flip to the screen we're going to be using for this. Just sharing my screen. Okay, fantastic. Just gonna start this. I guess we can go right ahead with this. So welcome to today's topic, the SME Guide to Business Planning. This is the first in 4 to 6 hangouts that will be focused on this particular topic, because business planning is a very large topic and it's also a very important topic. In teaching you about how to write a business plan, I will also need to teach you certain basic business concepts. So there's a lot to learn along the way. Today, we're going to touch on 2 or 3 main things. We're going to talk about why you need a business plan. We're going to talk about what the contents of your business plan should be. Today is an overview. We aren't going into the details of developing the plan. Today, you need to understand why you need the plan and the mindset you need to have to put together a very good plan. If you don't have the right mindset, then you're going to come up with a poor quality document that nobody's going to be interested in. Now, so many of us are watching this, and We're watching, or we're trying to learn about how to do a business plan because of two types of people. We are, and when I say we, I mean we, the small business, the SME. We've been looking for funds. I think in sort of 90% of the cases, this is the reason why you have decided you need a business plan. You're looking for funds, for money, for finance, and you want to approach people. You want to approach investors, and you want to approach lenders. Firstly, let me even make a distinction, because some of us are not clear on the distinction between investors and lenders. Now, often, especially in Nigeria, you hear it said by SMEs that my bank doesn't want to support me because I went to meet my bank and they never are ready to invest in small business. My bank is not ready to invest in startups. The fact is that a bank is not supposed to invest in startups. Banks primarily are not investors. They are lenders. So get that clear. A bank is a lender. A bank generally, unless it's an investment bank, a bank is not, a retail commercial bank is generally not an investor. As regards SMEs, small businesses like you and I, a bank is definitely not an investor. A bank is potentially a lender. A lender lends you money and expects you to pay principal and interest back on a regular basis. They expect you to pay this principal and interest back from the cash that you make from your business. Therefore, they need to see both the history of your cash flow as well as the projections about your cash flow. If you are a startup or a very new business, or you have not kept very good records, then a lender has no solid evidence of your ability to meet your principal and interest commitments. Therefore, they will not lend to you. So therefore, lenders generally lend to more mature businesses. So for a startup or for many SMEs, you are probably not going to get much luck with lenders, but you may get more luck with investors. Now, having said that you may not get as much luck with lenders, let me say that in the particular case of Nigeria and in the particular case of this year, 2014, 2015, maybe into 2016, and hopefully going forward, there are lots of special intervention funds that are actually set up specially to lend to SMEs. If you want to learn how to access those funds, then you'll need to watch one of our later webinars, join one of our later hangouts, or you can actually join our business planning workshop, which takes place once a month. And I believe there's one coming up in the month of September. Now, talking about investors. So the investor is the more likely target for the small business, either the investor or the special intervention fund, like I just mentioned. If you're going to approach investors, then yes, they are the ones that understand that you are a startup and they are taking certain business risk. Of course, the same amount of money, for the same amount of money, an investor will want to take a bigger piece of your business than a lender. But that is just part, that's nothing, there's nothing wrong with that because the investor is taking risk. If your business collapses, the investor has nothing. Whereas if a lender lends to you, typically they would have collateral and things like that. So it's a very different picture. So many of you are here because you are approaching investors and lenders. The first thing I want to tell you today is that is the wrong reason to want a business plan. It is not because of investors and lenders that you should want a business plan. That is not good at all. You should want a business plan because of you. You are the one that needs the business plan. You, the owner of the business. If you do not understand that, then you have got your basics wrong. There's one thing you need to take away from today's training. It is that the primary user, the primary stakeholder The most important reader and user of the business plan is you, the business owner. Don't do a plan because you are trying to dance to somebody's tune. You need to do a plan for reasons to do with your own ability to achieve your vision. Your plan is an agreement with yourself. If we don't agree in advance what we are going to do, we will not achieve it. If you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there, as it is said. So you must first agree with yourself, which really means you need to write down your thoughts. A business plan is actually a structured way of writing down your thoughts about the business. If you're going to work with anybody, and 99% of the time in any business, you do work with other people in terms of staff, fellow investors, and so on. Of course, you could be just one guy, one software developer writing an application or something. Even then, of course, you still need a business plan because you still need clarity in your own thinking. But generally speaking, you have other stakeholders, your partners, your staff, etc. If you don't have a business plan, you actually don't have a basis on which to discuss with these people. In which case you may think you have agreed certain things, but you have not agreed anything because none of you actually was on the same page. So it is also something that you can use as an agreement with your stakeholders. Fundamentally, thinking through your business plan gives power to your thoughts around your business. And of course, it is thoughts that give, firstly, the focus to your actions that bring about results, and even also create that world around you where you can take the opportunities, where you can actually begin to manifest that business plan, so to speak. So you need that power in your thinking if you're going to achieve anything major, and your business plan helps you do that. Day to day, you need to stay focused. You need mental clarity on a day-to-day basis. If you don't have a plan, gradually you deviate. Your actions of today are not fully in line with your actions of yesterday. So there's no focus. You're not building any momentum. A business plan helps you to stay focused. It helps you it's your compass. If you're heading north, stay focused on north, your true north. Without a business plan, you have no compass. You will have greater effectiveness and greater efficiency. What is the difference between effectiveness and efficiency? Very different. Effectiveness is doing the right things. Efficiency is doing things right. They're quite different. Doing the right things, that is going in the right direction. So if you are going from Lagos to Ibadan, there is a direction to go to. If you're going from Lagos to Ibadan and you head for Cotonou, you are not effective because you're not doing the right thing. Greater efficiency, you may be going to Ibadan, you are in the right direction, but you could be using a car that consumes 100 liters per mile, per kilometer. That's a very inefficient car, where compared to a car that maybe uses 1 liter per kilometer, for example. So at the end of the day, efficiency, which is what many of us focus on day to day. How much time am I spending on this? How much money am I spending? That's about efficiency. But effectiveness, are you spending money on the right thing at all? There's no point saying that you are going to get a cheap generator when in fact your business doesn't even need a generator at all, because your structure should not have involved you getting your own office in the first place. So these are the things that the business plan will help us think through, so we don't do silly things. We stay focused. We ensure that our thoughts and our actions are aligned. We ensure that our stakeholders are with us. And we ensure that day to day we're making real progress. This is why you should be looking for a business plan. When you have that, then of course it is an added advantage that lenders and investors can have something to also read if they're interested in your business. But that is not really what should be driving the need for a plan. Unfortunately, too many of us do not appreciate that. Let's take 1 second and just to confirm that I don't have any incoming questions right now. Just hold on 1 second while I check the chat box here. Checking our chat box. There's a question here about clarifying the difference between investors and entrepreneurs. Well, just like I said, so an investor is a person who is going to become a shareholder in your business. If I come to your business and I want to become a shareholder, you want an investment from me, I'm going to give you some money. I'm going to get some shares in your business. I may also get some level of control in your business. So I become very much part of the business. But if I'm a lender, like typically what a bank may want to do, I give you money. Of course, I have some, level of guarantee that you can actually pay me back my principal and my interest. And then you pay me back my principal and my interest, but I don't own any part of your business. You may have had to pledge some collateral, something you may have to give me in the event that you cannot meet your principal and interest obligations. But generally speaking, I won't own as a lender. A lender does not own any part of your business. Okay. So another question around which is better. Is it better to get funds from investors or is it better to get funds from a bank? These are not, when it comes to, now we're talking about corporate finance, there is no answer to that per se because it depends. One fundamental principle in corporate finance is that debt is cheaper than equity. And what do we mean by that? From a corporate finance perspective, because you don't have to give out a piece of your business to a lender, because the risk the lender is taking in you is less than the risk an investor is taking, then generally you don't have to give a lender as much. Let me try to explain that in simple terms. There are two of us coming to your business, Mr. A and Mr. B. You have said that your business is worth 100 naira. Mr. A, or let's even simplify it. So there's Mr. Lender and there's Mr. Investor. Your business, you've done your valuation and you said it's worth 100 naira. Now you make maybe 10 naira profit every year. You need 10 naira to finance something. You want to buy a machine and you need 10 naira. So Mr. Lender says, okay, I can lend you 10 naira. Obviously, I don't need a piece of your business. Now, Mr. Lender, what does he need? He simply needs his interest payments. How much will he charge for interest payments? It depends on generally what the market is saying. But whatever he charges will be set by certain market forces, the so-called cost of capital, and so on. Let us say he charges you a percentage per year, 15, 20%, for example, in Nigeria. That's Mr. Lender. On the other hand, look at Mr. Investor. Mr. Investor, he wants a piece of your business. If you were to equate that piece of your business to an interest charge, will it be more or less than Mr. Lender? It will actually have to be more, because in Mr. Investor's case, remember that he too can go to a bank and put his money in a bank, a fixed deposit. He can also give his money to Mr. Lender. Mr. Lender would actually pay him something, his own interest in a fixed deposit account. So for him to move the money, instead of to give it to the lender, to give it to you, you must be able to give him much more than a lender would give him. So generally speaking, you will find that the investors, the value that they want from you may be higher than the value a lender wants from you. It does not make either one better or worse, because in the case of the lender, every single month or whatever, you need to make your payments. You may have a bad month. Somebody may be owing you money, but you must pay the lender. So you have a risk there. In the case of the investor, yes, he may take a big piece of your business, but well, if the business works, we all succeed. If it fails, he can't come looking for you because he's a shareholder in the business just like you. So we cannot say one is better or worse. All we can say is that depending on your circumstances, you'll have to make a decision between debt and equity sometimes. Okay, interesting couple of questions there. Let's go back to the presentation. I'll be waiting for more questions as we go along. Make sure you send in your questions right now so that I'll be able to deal with them. You know, when I take my next break. I'm moving to talk now about the contents of your business plan. I didn't say the business plan. I didn't say the lender's business plan. I didn't say the investor's business plan. I said your business plan. Please, let's take ownership. This is your business plan. You're the primary user. Then you can choose to share it with lenders and investors. So from now on, we're going to only refer to it as your business plan. Now, within the business plan, you're going to talk about the business. So let's say, for example, I'm into fish farming, for example. Of course, I need to describe fish farming. What do? I have hatchlings, I have fish feed, I have full-grown fish, whatever. I explain what I do in the business. And when somebody reads that section, they should understand that, okay, this is what fish farming is about, and this is what this guy is doing. Then there are questions around the market. Now, you are not the only fish farmer there. I need to know about the market, the world around you. How big is this market? How many people are even buying fish? Who is buying this fish? How many of us are selling this fish? Is the whole market worth 1 million naira or 100 billion naira? How do you know that? That is the market. We want to know what is out there. How big is it? I'm still talking at a very high level. Of course, this is just part one. You know, I'm just giving you guys a summary. When we go in part two, part three, we're going to go into all of these in much more detail. But just get the picture. So the business is about you. The market is about, you know, the industry around you. The marketing strategy and plan now tells us how you as a business are navigating through the market. How you as a business are going to do better than your competitors and whoever else in the industry. How you are going to manage issues that will arise in the market. That's where the marketing strategy and plan will come in. What is the difference between strategy and planning? We're going to discuss that in more detail in the next sections, but strategy is really about how do I position myself differently from others. Then plan is how do I execute that thing, that's special positioning that I have identified. In developing your strategy, a lot of thinking is required. We at Shopping help SMEs do that. That's another reason why you may want to attend the business planning workshop. In those workshops, we actually sit with you and help you develop a strategy and also, of course, a plan. But really, a strategy should come before a plan. Then we'll talk about your operations plan. What do you do generally on a day-to-day basis? What is the week, month outlook for the next 12 months? That's the short term. The next 2 to 3 years, you know, that sort of thing. You need to lay out a plan of what will be done and what will be achieved in terms of actions. We need to talk about the financial plan. Of course, this is fundamental, both to the lender and to the investor, and of course to you in terms of managing your own cash flows. You need to actually understand how money will be spent and how it will be made. And we need to spell this out clearly in the financial plan. And each of these elements of the plan need to tie together. The business, the way you have described yourself, and the market need to be aligned with what you have come up with in your marketing strategy and your plan. You cannot, for example, explain in your business that you are trying to have higher quality fish, and then in your marketing strategy you tell us that you also want to be the cheapest seller of fish. The cheapest seller of fish cannot be the highest quality purveyor of fish. It doesn't make sense. So they need to be tied together. If you have said that you are going to you're going to sell fish feed, and you're going to create a plant to produce this fish feed, a fish meal or whatever. In your operations plan, we need to know how long it will take you to do that. You cannot put in your operations plan that your meal will be ready on day one, because that is not possible. And if your meal is not ready on day one, then your finances cannot start on day one. You cannot start making revenue on day one. You'll only be spending money on day one. So all of these things will tie together, and that makes for a good business plan. Too often, SMEs and entrepreneurs, because they have not yet taken ownership of the plan, because they don't yet see it as their own plan, they think it's just about formatting a document, saying one or two nice things, and then we can go and sell it. That is very false. All those other issues, executive summary, table of contents, your template, your fonts, yeah, those are all nice. Those are all important. But that is not what a business plan is. Those will come after. What we have to start off with is the fundamentals of the plan itself. Okay, so I'm going to round up now, and I think you can send us more questions and comments. We'll take those, we may need to take those offline. We have a lot of stuff to talk about. This has just been an introduction. We are going to help you put together an incredible business plan. You need to ensure you join us on the Hangouts. We're going to be having these every Saturday morning, and it will be replayed on YouTube, available on YouTube for replay. So today I've given you just an overview. What you need to focus, what we'll be expecting to hear from you are your questions, and get yourself ready for the next sections. We're going to give you incredible training on how to do a business plan. You may also want to visit that URL, Shopping/SME Connect, and work out how you will attend our next business plan workshop, which is really hands-on and helps you think through your strategy and your plan. All right, great. I think we've got a few more seconds just to take one or two more questions. I'll just see if there's anything that has come in. Yes, so somebody says nobody's paying attention to his business plan. He's into farm products. The first thing is whether your business plan is addressing the real issues, and whether you are going to the right market for your business plan. Okay? There are specific types of investors, there are specific types of lenders for your own specific type of product. So you are into farm products. So I would suggest that you join our business planning workshop later in the month, because we actually talk then about the exact kinds of people you should be going to, as well as the format of the documents that will interest them. So look forward to seeing you guys again next week. It's been fun. I know that questions are still coming in, but we've got limited time. We'll look at the questions and try to get back to you. And remember, you can always reach us via email at loveshopping, LOVESHOPPING, loveshopping at Shoppi.ng, at SHOPPI.ng. And you can reach us by phone, 0700 shopping. That's 0700 746 77464. And it's been fun, and I look forward to seeing you again next week.